My window is right there, and the window, dude. There's a window, and you're standing next to the room, and you're like, hey, you know what? You know what she said later, man. You know what she said to me, man. You know what? You know what she said to me, and it's 5 in the morning, dude, and you're standing right outside of my bedroom. Everybody, what is up, man? What is up? Pupil's Life episode 80 something, maybe 90. Welcome back, man. Welcome back to my abode, my humble abode. The air conditioning is on, and also the fan is on. So, if you happen to hear my voice at all during this podcast, then congratulations. What am I doing, man? Welcome to the show. This is the Pupil's Life. If you're new here, then warm welcome to you, sir, or sire, or Mrs., or Miss. And if you've been here before, man, then, you're probably already fucking wrapped up in a little blanket. Maybe you're working on a fucking project and you just have this in the background. Maybe you just like to listen to a strange 25-year-old male from Austin, Texas, just talking about his life and his solutions. And by solutions, I don't mean fucking like contact solutions, but in case it wasn't obvious, what have I been doing, man? I think it's spring. I was really excited about that, and I'm still really excited about that. It's hard not to get emotional, dude. Every time I leave work and I decide to ride my bike home instead of taking the bus, it's hard not to get emotional. Just going on the boardwalk and seeing people out on their fucking paddle boards and their kayaks, and then just being like, dude, you know what? 4:30 p.m. on a Saturday, and I don't have to work tomorrow. I'm just gonna fucking stop my bike here, lie down on a little boardwalk bench, and listen to birds chirp, people laugh, the wind blow, and just fucking, dude, just living, dude. like the next mayor of Austin, Matthew McConaughey, would say, man, you just keep on living. Just keep living. But yeah, dude, I'm recording this on a Sunday, and I played my second tennis match. Dude, it feels like forever ago that I played tennis with Ricky back when I was starting to vlog. And we played our second match, and then we went to Easy Tiger here in Austin, which was, dude, that's another thing, I wasn't that emotional about it, but I remember that Easy Tiger had to close either their bakery, or they had to close something down. I think it was downtown. They had a location like smacking downtown with this beautiful little like creek flowing through in their back patio, and they had ping pong tables and shit, and like just beautiful location. And from what I remember, they closed down because of COVID, and now all of a sudden I'm driving, Ricky's driving, and I'm in the passenger seat, and I'm like, we went to fucking Paperboy, dude. hour wait. We went to fucking Cenote. There's a line around the block. And I'm just like, dude, all right, I'm happy that people are out. But what the fuck, man? I've never seen a line at Cenote. I've never seen a fucking line at Cenote. And, also fucking look at us trying to go out and eat lunch on a Sunday, dude, at 1 p.m. Of course there's going to be waits. Of course there's going to be lines, dude. It's the 21st century, I think. But so then we were just driving around looking for places, and I was like, oh shit, Easy Tiger, new location, east side of Austin. And they have this huge sort of yard with a bunch of picnic tables, and it just warmed my heart, man. Like, fuck yeah, dude. There's one that got away, There's one that survived this bullshit government rules and mandates and all that stuff. Because, dude, back when that girl that I said who had visited me, a couple of weeks ago, we went out one night walking. From her hotel, we walked, and I was like, I know all these really cool bars and like speakeasies and whatnot. And so we started walking, and we got to one, and it was shut down, like forever, shut down forever. And I was like, fuck, okay. So we keep walking, go to another one, shut down forever. And it was like that for like 3 or 4 different places that I used to go to all the time with, not all the time, but, after improv class, I would go with my class and all these places that shut down. And I'm like, fuck, man, that sucks. But seeing Easy Tiger, it was nice, man. Just the one that got away, it almost even looked like an upgrade, like a bigger space. And in a busier area, like their last location. I've never been to Easy Tiger. All I know about Easy Tiger is that my brother buys their bread at HEB. And that's not me trying to say a tongue twister. But it just so happens that their last location, that's all I know is a tongue twister. Is my brother's trying to buy their bread. My brother likes to buy their bread at HEB. That's a nice little something, dude. I don't know. Maybe I could write my brother a poem for Kids Day. But yeah, man, I played tennis, lost, and I knew, dude, after the first, I think it's called a game. After the first game, right, where you play up to like 6 or whatever, and then whoever wins that wins the first game, and then whoever wins 2 out of 3 games wins the match, is how I think they score tennis. After the first game, I was like, fuck it, dude, I'm not going to win. And mentally, I wasn't able to come back. And compared to the first match that we played, it just felt like half the length, and I wasn't, drenched in sweat and fucking gasping for air at the end of it. Like this time I was like, oh dude, I could go for another full match, but I was just like, mentally, I'm not gonna recover, dude. Like, I'm just not, it's like when you're at the poker table and you play a tournament, when you play a tournament, dude, and most of you probably don't know what the fuck this feels like listening to this, but if you do, then awesome. When you're at a poker tournament that offers a rebuy, meaning you can lose and then pay the same entry again and re-enter the tournament. When you're at one of those tournaments and you lose, there's always one of 2 feelings. The first feeling is like, you just know, dude, you gotta go back in, because if you go back in, something magical is gonna happen. Like when I went to the fucking World Series the last year before the pandemic, I entered a tournament that was like $600, $650, and it was like a bracelet tournament, like from the World Series of Poker. Fucking Daniel Negreanu and like all these professionals were there, and I'm by myself in Las Vegas, and I'm playing, dude. I'm fucking playing. 2.5 hours in, 3 hours in, I bust. And, I think to myself, all right, I could just spend the next 2 days in Vegas fucking doing edibles and, you know, just playing cash games. Or, dude, or I could rebuy and fucking win this thing, and that was my fucking confidence level was like, dude, or I could rebuy and I could fucking take the bracelet home tonight. Not tonight because it was a multiple day tournament, but you get the point. And so that's exactly what I did, man. And as I was doing it, I was like, how much money do I have in the bank? What's my net worth? And it was maybe like $2,500, dude. Fucking minus the 600 that I'd already lost, right? So I was like, all right, dude, I've got $1,800 left. I could spend a third of it, dude. I could spend a third of it. And so that's what I did, man. And then I slowly, I put my music on, dude, listen to Ryan Adams' Let It Ride, and fucking, I just let the deck hit me, hit me. And I started to build up a stack. And by the end of the night, there was like 700 to 800 of us left out of like 5,000. And I'd already made back my $1,200, I was still in it. But as far as like placement, I had already made back my money. And so I fucking, I put my chips in a little Ziploc bag, give them to the lady, go to my Airbnb, come back the next day. And dude, I think I got down to like 300 and something. And I made $1,800. So I profited $600. And, that wouldn't have happened if I'd had option 2, which is the whole point of me telling the story, is that, sometimes you feel like, dude, you know what? I gotta fucking rebuy, dude. I gotta rematch. I gotta fucking give it another shot because I know I can do it. And then sometimes you're just like, nah, the cards just aren't in it for me tonight. What's the saying, dude? I don't know what the saying is, But yeah, dude, Ricky just fucking smashed me 2 games. And then he did the most annoying thing that a friend can do. He said, you want to play another match? And I was like, I'm just not feeling it. And he's like, okay, let's just play like 3 sets just for fun. And I was like, dude, that's not fun. You beat me already. Why do I want to play just a fake game? It's like once you start gambling with real money, why the fuck would you gamble with fake money? Does anybody still play Zynga poker, dude, who's not 13 years old? Because I don't. That's what I played when I was 9. And then when I was 13 and I got my dad's fucking ID and everything, dude, I started playing real online poker. And with my brother's ID, I started going to casinos, dude, at like 14. Dude, I don't think, oh man, I don't know if there's a better feeling in this world. Like, I don't know if I have ever felt better than when I was at a poker table as a teenager. Like, dude, the fucking the growth that my balls got in those moments was tremendous, man. Like, I remembered so well, dude. That was where I gained all of my confidence. That was where I gained all of my confidence, was because I I would go with, like, my brother was 4 years older than me, and all of his friends played poker with me, and my brother did too. And so there were nights where, me and Oliver and my brother and Michael, dude, four of us would go to like the Cancun Palace or some shit. That's what the poker places were called, something Palace. Uh, and I remember, dude, this one place opened up with a lower rate, which means that they take less money out of every pot, so you make more money. And it was like we were, dude. It's so dumb because I didn't look 18, but I just somehow I got in, right? And once they knew me, they were like, they didn't even ID me anymore. They were just like, "Hey, what's up, man? What's up? You coming to there? Yeah, there's a spot open, dude." And so once I was at that point, it was just like fucking guaranteed that I was going to go in, because sometimes you go not knowing if they're going to let you in, right? And if they don't, then it ruins the night for everyone, because like you all have to go home. But there were times where the four of us would sit down at the same table and just, dude, fuck, man. It was just like, this is my one area in life that nobody can fuck with me, you know? Like, my brother would always lose or break even, mostly lose. Michael generally always broke even. He made his big bets on fucking online, dude. That's where he gambled, and it paid off. He won like $3,000 when he was 17, man. And Oliver, it was like a coin toss, because he bluffed so much, dude, that sometimes he fucking cashed out big, and sometimes he cashed out zilch. But I was just there, dude, and I was like, I had a fucking notebook that I would write notes in about the players at the table, right? And I would fucking like, dude with the glasses smiled when he beat me with 9-8 suited. Uh, he raised this much, and just fucking like, sometimes I pretended that I was writing shit down that meant something, and I was really just writing shit down for practice. But dude, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, just the feeling of, you walk in and you're like, all right, can I buy in for $100? And I said, yeah, yeah, yeah. And a lady comes, dude, and she gives you this fucking rack of chips. Fucking, when she sits them down on the felt in front of you, it just makes this little noise of like, it clicks in, dude. And you pick them up and you set them down, and then you just fucking do the chip shuffle, dude. And somebody sits there and they're like dealing you cards, and all you have to do is sit there and look at your cards and then look at everyone else and then make decisions. It's all you're doing is making decisions. Dude, it's arguably one of the best things that you can do to strengthen your mind is play fucking Texas Hold'em, no limit, and just make decisions. Just make fucking decisions. I remember one night, my friend Michael and I, we went to the Playboy Casino. There was a Playboy Casino, man, and I think the real Playboy bunnies and Hugh Hefner like did the inauguration. I don't know about Hefner. I think the Playboy bunnies did, or at least one of them. But all the dealers were females, and they were dressed as fucking Playboy bunnies, right? And I was like, I was like 14, dude. And Michael would come and pick me up at my dad's apartment, and we would just drive, dude, for fucking 30 minutes, get there, and I would dress up, right, so that I would look older, even though all the other players were dressed in fucking cargo pants and plain t-shirts. And the tables, it was like, there was a ground floor, and then there were these side stairs with like a side alley that was on the second floor, but that from the first floor you could look at, and it was open. And on the second floor, which was, you could see from the bottom floor, were like 3 poker tables. So it was like a little private area. And dude, I just remember the adrenaline that I was feeling the first time that I went, and I sat down, and in my mind, I'm like just fucking looking at everybody, dude. Like, nobody here, everybody here thinks that I'm fucking underage, and they also think that I'm probably shit player. Right? They don't know that the last 5 years of my life I was alone watching fucking high stakes poker on YouTube, dude, just to survive. Right? They don't know that I've watched every World Series of poker backlogged on YouTube. And they don't know the amount of poker knowledge that I have. I read books, dude. I'd read fucking poker books, man. I was convinced at the age of 13, 14 that I was going to become a professional poker player. And that I already was. At 14, I was like, I'm already a professional poker player. I'm just not making money yet. At least not big money. But yeah, remember, I set aside $1, dude. Dude, I set aside $1, which at the time was 20 pesos. And I just said, dude, this is going to be my poker fund. I'll play once, and if I cash with the 20 pesos, then I'll start building from there. With $1. And what do you know, man? Me and 4 of my friends played a 20 peso match, and so that's 100 peso total, which is what, dude, $5? And and I win. Right? So now I have $5, and I play another 20 peso match the next weekend, and I win. So now I have fucking $9 or $10 or however many people played. And dude, after maybe like 2 or 3 months, I had $200. And, it was the first time that I started to sort of track my finances. Right? I had a fucking envelope where I would write, I lost this much tonight, so now I'm at this. Oh, I gained this much, so now I'm at this. And I never touched that money for anything else. It was my poker fund, and it was only for poker. And once I had like $200, I was like, it's time to go to the fucking big leagues. I'm never gonna get to like $10,000, $20,000 if I keep playing $1 fucking match or $5 or $10. I got to go and sit down with $100 at a fucking casino. So back to the night, me and Michael go to the Playboy Casino, and we get in, and we start walking up to the table, and we're like giggling, dude. We're like, fucking, we got through, man. And we sit down, and I think Michael didn't sit down to play. And this is what I mean by like confidence building, is that, dude, here's this 17, 18-year-old, my friend of my brother's, that's a senior in high school, and I'm fucking in eighth grade. And he's too afraid to fucking sit down at the table. Right? Eventually he played, but like that second night, those first 2 times, he was like, I'll just watch. And I was like, really, dude? That's kind of boring. You're just gonna. He's like, no. I swear, I'll be fine. I'll just watch. And he would just fucking watch from like the sidelines, and just be like, fucking like, yes, dude, like fucking celebrate the hands that I won. But I remember that one night, I think I started with maybe like $30 on the table, which was like 600 pesos at the time. Maybe a little bit more, right? Let's just say I started with $50. But everyone else, maybe there was one other person with $50. Everyone else had like at least $1,000 on the table. And the blinds were $1, $2. So I just sit there and I'm fucking grinding, right? I get shit cards, I fold them, I lose blinds. And then I think I got like a 3 and a 6 of spades. And it was my big blind, and nobody raised, but there was 2 callers. And so I'm just like, all right, I'll check and I'll see what the flop brings. I check, dude. And the flop brings me the nuts, basically. I think it was 2, 4, 5. It was either 2, 4, 5, or it was 2, 4, 5. I was going to say maybe it was a flush. It was either a flush or a straight that I flopped. right? And then one of the guys says, "I'm all in." And I'm just because I was first to act, so I check. And one of the guys says, "I'm all in." And then the other guy says, "I'm all in too." And then I said, "Thanks for the free money, dude." And I fucking call and I triple up in one hand. And then I'm up to, fucking like $150 from one moment to the other. And I played three more hands and I got up and I fucking booked it with Michael, dude. And I was like, holy shit, dude, I just made $100. And dude, there was a big big fucker, dude, like a fat fuck. And he had Super Bowl rings on his knuckles, dude, on his fingers. And dude, I'll never forget that guy. He had like $3,000 on the table, and I was sitting there with 50. And all the guys, people were smoking cigars, drinking cocktails, and I was sitting there, dude, listening to my music. Ryan Adams' "Let It Ride." If you've never heard it, look it up, dude. And also, if you've never watched the movie Lucky You with Eric Bana, arguably the second best poker movie of all time, right? Rounders is, of course, the best. But Lucky You, man, it's a little more Hollywood, but if you're new to poker, dude, it just fucking pumps you up, right? But I would just sit there with my earphones and my sweatshirt and my hoodie. And I was like, dude, just in the zone. There's no better feeling than that, right? Obviously, there's like feeling at peace. And I think ultimately that's better. But I'm just saying, as far as like a feeling, like an intense sort of feeling or like a state of mind, nothing has topped maybe having sex, right, with somebody that you really care about. Maybe that. But yeah, all of a sudden there's three or four things that are better. But I'm just trying to give you the idea, man, that like think of yourself. Think of yourself when you were 13. What were you doing? Think of yourself. Maybe you grew up in Atlanta, dude, right? There's a couple listeners in Atlanta. Maybe you're 13, dude, and you grew up in Atlanta and you lived in the suburbs, and every now and then you went into the city with your parents and you went to the mall, you hung out with your friends, you rode bicycles around the suburbs, went to school, came home, did your homework. Maybe you watched Jeopardy with your parents or your grandparents. Maybe your grandparents lived in the same neighborhood as you, right? And me, dude, I was going to casinos and nightclubs. I was going to casinos and nightclubs at the age of 13 and just thinking, like, dude, I'm fucking like, I don't get it, dude. I just genuinely don't get it. How, you know how people say, and this isn't me trying to compare one terrible situation with another. I'm just comparing differences in other countries, right? In the US, the biggest like fear, the biggest like, oh, the US is bad is like the teenager is doing like heroin or some shit, right? Like that's like the worst that you can have it as a teenager in the US, unless you're fucking poor and nobody talks about you in the news, right? That's a separate category, man. And that's very real, right? But the worst that you can have it if you're like in the fucking middle class in the US is that you start doing heavy drugs and maybe you live in like Indiana or something. And that's all there is to do there, right? And then there's like North Korea, right? I just read a whole fucking book about North Korea. In North Korea, you generally you don't have light, you don't have electricity, you don't have food, you don't have, you're fucking you have to polish two pictures of the great leaders and his son. Excuse me. And so that's like the one extreme. And But then there's also Mexico, and it's specifically Cancun. Like my childhood, dude, was Miami Vice without the guns. That I never had a gun. I fucking grabbed my dad's gun, dude. I'll tell you that. I fucking picked up my dad's gun once when nobody was home. And looking back on it, it reminds me of the scene in Joker where Joaquin Phoenix gets his gun and he fucking starts like dancing with it in his bedroom and then accidentally goes off. Right, dude? I remember I was fucking 13 and I looked at my dad's like shoe hanging thing and there was a gun there. There was a fucking revolver there. And there was a pouch with bullets. And I picked up that revolver and I shit you not. I'm not making this up for the podcast. I picked up that revolver and I felt like I'm about to shit myself because I'm so scared. But then I also remembered Taxi Driver, which I had already watched at the age of 13. And I grabbed the revolver and I'm just looking at it and I'm like, dude, you have to at least aim it. Just aim it at the wall. Nobody's home. You're on a third floor. If it goes off, nothing's going to happen to someone else, right? You're going to have a fucking hole in the wall, but you'll deal with that when it happens, if it happens. You have to fucking recreate that scene from Taxi Driver. And so I grabbed the gun and then I just fucking, I fucking pointed. I pointed at the wall and I'm just fucking looking, dude. And I was like, I didn't say anything because I was so scared that I would say something and lose concentration and then fucking shoot the gun. But I just did this. And I was like, fucking, oh yeah, dude, just fucking. And then I got really scared and I put it back and never told anyone about that. So aside from the guns, I basically grew up in Miami Vice. I went on speedboats with my friends. I went on sailboats. I went scuba diving with beautiful women, and I fucking they were my family, but still, it's a beautiful thing to be in the presence of. It's better to have a attractive family than an ugly one. and I would go to nightclubs, just walk up and then like, hey, let me see your ID, kid. Fucking, here you go, man. It's my older brother, but you're not going to be able to tell the fucking difference, are you? There's no light in here. And they were like, all right, you're good. Fucking mark my arm so that the waiters know that I can drink alcohol. And then get fucking hammered at 13. At 13, I started drinking alcohol like a grown-up on spring break. And it's just bizarre, man. You think about it and you're like Cancun and people are like, oh yeah, spring break. But it's like the additional part of that sentence that nobody ever says is, oh my God, yeah, spring break. Woo! With 13-year-olds. Like, there are children at the nightclubs everywhere. Like children, not like teenage, like children. And they're there fucking dressed in their polo shirts and they're like fucking like pretending that they have some sort of status on someone. And it's all because of their parents, dude. It's all because their parents are rich and their parents are unemotional or emotionally disconnected from the child. So the child's like, I'm going to fucking be like my dad, dude. And just be like a fucking like, be one of those fucking dudes. So many, fuck, dude. I hate talking about that, man. I hate thinking about that, dude. I hate thinking about it. And it's the one thing I don't think I've been able to capture very well when I write about my childhood is just like how many times I legitimately felt like I was not safe. Right? Like, and I don't mean like by police. I mean by like older kids that were like, oh yeah, dude, I'll crack your skull open on the sidewalk, you pussy. And I was 13 and I was like, fuck, dude, he might actually do that. But I would never tell my dad that, right? So, yeah, you crack him on the skull, you fucking pussy. uh, yeah, man, it's a sadistic experiment to run on kids, to have them grow up without proper parenting in Cancun. With the right parenting, dude, fucking, you know, awesome. Awesome, dude. Awesome. If I was like fucking, if I was a parent, dude, and I had a dope partner and I had all the money that I needed, and my wife was like, I really want to live by the Caribbean. I would consider going back. I don't know, man. I think it's kind of hard, actually. I think it's hard. Even if you're a good parent, I think it's hard, dude. Because there's just so many forces going against your kid, right? People doing drugs, people hooking up, people fucking trying to beat each other up, dude. A fucking senior once pummeled an 8th grader's face down because he called him like a fairy or something. Right? One of my brother's best friends, Alejandro, dude. The son of the principal at my elementary school. I walked out and I'm waiting, and I've told this story before, it's a short one. I walked out and I'm waiting in the parking lot next to my mom's gray soccer venture van, one of those soccer mom vans, like a gray venture with the sliding doors. And I'm just waiting there. The car's locked because my mom has the keys. But I'm just waiting and I'm waiting. And then Alejandro, dude, Alex fucking Rivas is what we call him. And he's a cool dude. It's nothing against him. This was 15 years ago, maybe more, probably like 18 years ago. I was like 7. And I'm just waiting there and he comes up and he's like, hey, what's up, Nika? Nika. That's what he called me, not Nika. He called me, what's up, Nika? Right? My name was Nico, dude. He was like, what's up, Nika? And I was like, fucking shut up, dude. And he's like, oh, yeah, Nika. And I was like, oh, yeah, Alexa. And he fucking said, what the fuck did you just say? He picks me up from the neck, dude, and fucking slams me against my mom's gray venture. And he's like, don't you fucking call me Alexa, dude. And my mom shows up. She's like, Alex, put him down, like kind of laughing. And he puts me down and it just fucking, like, dude, if I was a dad or a mom and I saw somebody do that to my kid, dude, I fucking pick that kid up by the neck and I say, oh yeah, you fucking punk. And dude, just bite one of his fucking ears off. I don't know, dude. Leave a scar somehow. But anyway, dude, if I start talking about my childhood, then I just fucking don't talk about anything else, man. And there was so much that I needed to talk about. This North Korea book, man. This North Korea book. Okay. It's called The Girl with 7 Names. And I don't know what the fuck North Korea is, dude. I don't know how that place exists. But this book, The Girl with 7 Names by Hyeonseo Lee, it's gotta be, I shouldn't start with that. I mean, it's gotta be one of the best books I've read in the last 10 years, but so it covers maybe like 20 years of her life, right? It's a girl that grows up in North Korea. And she, you get to know life in North Korea. She witnesses her first hanging at the age of like 8. And she tells you that, trials in North Korea aren't trials. They're just like letting you knows. But they don't tell you that until they're about to hang you. So you show up to your trial, right? And you're like, dude, fucking today's the day. I'm going to find out. Am I going to get murdered or not? And then you get there. Or actually not. You don't even know why they're calling you in. And you get there. And then they're like, you did this. You're sentenced to death. Somebody grabs you, dude, puts a rope over your neck, hangs you within the minute. And they do that because they used to let somebody know, like, hey, you're coming to your death sentence this is the day, or they would tell them when they got there and the people would faint and then they would have to move it to the next day. And this is how the book starts. You're just learning about how fucking evil North Korea is. Not like like all the people, like how fucking insidious it would be to live there. Because everyone is so afraid that they all just are enforcing this dictatorship. And that's what I learned. I didn't know, you need, if you don't have fear, then you can't have a dictatorship. And so then that makes more sense why people are like, oh, dude, you see what's happening in the US? This could lead to that. It's like, oh, yeah, because everybody's fucking so afraid that now they're enforcing these bullshit policies, right? Like, put your fucking mask on. It's like, dude, nothing's going to happen to you if you don't tell me to do that, And so you learn about that, and then girl grows up, more traumatic things happen to her. And one day she's like, I'm going to fucking just cross the border, right? There's a river that divides her country and China. And she's like, I'm just going to walk over and see what happens late at night. She walks over and then never comes back. And then it becomes the story of a North Korean defector, dude. And all the hurdles that she has to overcome, dude. And it's just, number one, dude, I learned so much about Asia and about just fucking Korea and like South and North and China and fucking Vietnam and all of these places. I just felt like I was there. Excuse me. And so that's one thing. But then also, it's like what I compare it to is like, if you've ever read Haruki Murakami's Norwegian Wood, this is like a way faster paced, less about romance, but the same kind of, fucking great writing and great storytelling. Yeah, it's just like every time that I'm like, dude, well, where's the next great book gonna be? And I just find it right randomly, right? I'm like, it's been on my list for 8 months. I wish that I could filter my Goodreads to read list by like the next fucking great book and just have 30 of them instead of 300 of them. But yeah, man, it's heartbreaking, and there's so many moments of, you're like, dude, she's finally fucking gonna do it, and then something else shitty happens, and you're like, fuck, when is she gonna fucking catch a break, dude? Right? It gets to the point where she's like starts to think about rescuing her family. And you're just rooting for her the whole time, but you're like, there's no way. There's no way. How, dude? And it's also it's just a like it highlights, how people are like, like David Goggins, right? He's like, I used to be a fat fuck. If you're a fat fuck, you don't have an excuse now. It just highlights how true that is, right? What are your circumstances? I'll give you an example, man. One of my best friends, she lives in Mexico City, and arguably, she's told me this before, has kind of changed her mind, kind of, but she's told me she hates her job. She fights with her mom all the time. She's sick of men in Mexico because nobody fucking gives a fuck about women in Mexico. Apparently, nobody. She doesn't use dating apps though, so that's a whole another argument, right? That's a solution to her problem that she doesn't want to use. But anyway, dude, she's not happy. Like as happy as she. But the point is that she believes there are things that are limiting her, right? Oh, well, I live in Mexico and it's unsafe. Oh, well, if I don't have a job, then how am I going to make money? Or if I quit my job, then what am I going to do if this happens or if this happens? All these things, right? And And when I'm reading this book, dude, The Girl with Seven Names, I'm just like, okay, she grew up in North Korea. She doesn't know anything that isn't North Korea is the best and everybody else is your enemy. And not only that, this woman does it, this girl, she doesn't know fucking arithmetic, dude. She doesn't know science. All she knows is what the propaganda that they taught her in North Korean schools, right? They don't teach you the normal things. They teach you to be submissive. They teach you to be afraid. They teach you that Americans, Chinese, and South Koreans are the enemy. They literally do. She says they have paintings or pictures of a North Korean with a spear, and he's spearing like those three races in the head. His one stick has an American at the front, a South Korean behind him, and a Chinese at the very back. And these are the images that they have in kindergarten. And part of their rituals in kindergarten is like, or just in elementary school, is that you have to walk up in front of the classroom and call one of your friends out for something they did wrong. You know, basically snitch. They teach children to snitch, right? It's just like this woman has no understanding of how the world actually works. But now all of a sudden she's in China and she's like, okay, I need to somehow make money. So she stumbles upon a market and a woman's like, hey, I need a fucking waitress. Can you waitress? And she goes and she does that. And then it turns out it's like a fucking sex operation. So she runs away. And it's just like thing after thing after thing. And she just figures it out. Right? And she's like, oh, I want to go rescue my mom and my brother from North Korea. Oh yeah, dude, how are you gonna do that? Oh, well, guess what? I'm just gonna try these things and see what the fuck happens. And it just, you know, I won't spoil the book for you, but she just figures things out. Sometimes she doesn't. Catastrophes happen. Life happens. But she never stops trying, man. She never stops trying. And I think, you know, I haven't rewatched this movie, Roma, but I think Roma and what's the word? Roma and The Girl with Seven Names are like that and The Diary of Anne Frank, but less so because that wasn't planned. Roma and The Diary Roma and The Girl with Seven Names are the two stories that I've read that have the strongest female characters, dude. You know, like that's the end of that sentence, man. And so if you're looking for the next great fucking book, The Girl with Seven Names is like, man, I don't even know how else I can sell it to you, but I could not put that book down. And yeah, man. And then I watched her TED Talk and I couldn't understand a fucking word that she was saying. You know, she's like, in when I lost North Korea, I kind of like and I'm just like, and the subtitles are like, I grew up in North Korea. I was a little girl. It's like, that's not what you said, man. Uh, but she's a fucking amazing person. Look up Hyeonseo Lee TED Talk if you want to cry. And dude, there's so many things I'm not even gonna have time to talk about them all, dude. Fuck. This is what happens, man, when your sleep is interrupted in the middle of the night, dude. Dude, last night I wanted to fucking fight this guy, dude. I wanted to fucking not even fight. I wanted to surprise attack him and just fucking beat the fuck out of him, man. That's what happens when you wake somebody up at 5 a.m. because you're being an inconsiderate fucking cunt. dude, I'm sleeping, I'm fucking vivid dreaming, and I'm fucking having a great time, right? And all of a sudden I wake up, and I'm just like, and I'm just like, oh fuck, okay, I gotta pee, right? That's my first thought when I wake up in the middle of the night is like, oh, I probably have to pee. And I just like, oh, I roll around a little bit, I roll around. And then I hear this really loud voice. And he's like, yeah, man. And so then, you know what she said to me, man? What she said, man, is, and I'm just fucking, I'm like, it's like right next to my fucking head, dude. Like right outside of my fucking wall, because the hallway, you know, my head, I sleep with my head against the wall that is the hallway, an outdoor hallway. And there's this fucking guy, dude, and he's just like, and then you know what she said, man? You know what she said? She said, oh, yeah, fuck. And that's how he's talking, dude, with his fucking, you know, West Africa accent, and too much excitement for 5 a.m. And I was just like, fuck. I'm just thinking about, okay, dude, I'm fucking fuming inside. How do I fix this? Because this is the first time it happens, right? And usually it's a fucking party, not just one guy. Usually it's a party, and every time a door opens, I hear doof, 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 and then they close it, and then 2 guys step outside to smoke a cigarette, and they're like, "Hey, man, you know what fucking did?" And they just fucking, you know, 2 a.m. on a Sunday night, and they're just like, hey, "It's okay, right? We're fucking making the most noise possible." But I'm tossing and turning, dude, and the guy won't shut the fuck up. And so eventually I'm just like, all right, you know, this is what I had this thought, because one time I was so upset by all this noise that I looked up, you know, when should you call the police on a noise complaint, is what I looked up on fucking Google, man. And it said, generally a police officer, the first question they'll ask you with a noise complaint is like, have you talked to the neighbors? Like, have you asked them to lower the noise, or are you calling us first? Because if you're calling us first, we're gonna fucking be pissed. All right. And so from that moment on, I was like, all right, I'm never gonna call the cops, dude. I'm never gonna call the cops unless I've gone over there and said something first, right? So I'm like fucking tossing and turning. I'm like, dude, tonight's the night. And the reason that I was arguing or debating whether or not to even do it was because I knew if I get up right now and I have this interaction face to face, my adrenaline's going to spike, and then it's going to be harder to go to sleep. Whereas if I could just try to ignore this, suppress it, then maybe I'll just fall asleep magically, right? It wasn't happening, so I get up, dude. I got my mouth guard, my shirt full of holes, my pajamas, basically. And I walk out, dude, and I open my fucking door. I'm just like fucking pissed off. I fucking open my door like fast. And then I open the front door, dude. I just fucking open the front door, and this guy is standing there on the phone, and he turns. The noise from me opening the door was so loud that he turns, and he turns like this. He's looking at me like this. And I'm just fucking like, we're staring into each other's eyes, and he's just like, you know, he's fucking, you know, deer in the headlights. And I see that. And you know what I said to him? I said, hey, man, you're standing right side of my bedroom. And I said it like that. I said, hey, man, you're standing right side of my bedroom. And he fucking was like, oh, yeah, I'm sorry, man, I'm sorry. And he fucking, I go back to sleep, dude. I go back in my bed, and he keeps talking, dude. And he keeps talking for 30 seconds, and I'm like, this motherfucker, dude. But then he's like, all right, hey, man, I gotta go, man. I gotta say goodbye. And he fucking wraps up the call, right? And I'm like, dude, fucking, yes, dude. yes, dude, because I'm not a fucking pussy dude that just reads the news and is like, oh my god, fucking somebody else fix this for me. Right. I got up, dude. I stood up from my sleep, from my stupor, and I walked outside at 5 a.m. in my pajamas and my mouth guard. And I said, hey man, you're standing right out of my bedroom. And he fucking, dude, I felt a little bit bad, dude, afterwards. I was like, fuck, man, that guy probably feels like a fucking idiot now. That guy feels like a fucking idiot now. But I was just so happy that I did it. And I was just like, this guy should feel like a fucking idiot, right? My window is right there. And the window, dude, there's a window. And you're standing next to the room, and you're like, "Hey, you know what? You know what she said later, man. You know what she said to me, man. You know what? You know what she said to me." And I'm just, it's 5 a.m, dude, and you're standing right outside of my bedroom. You are a fucking idiot. You know, dude, I wanted to fucking pummel his face to the ground, dude. This was before I saw him fucking like scared. And the funniest thing of all this story is that when I lay back, I fucking hate that word, dude. Pick a tense and stick with it. I used to say laid when I laid back down, and then I think it was my fucking mom, dude. She was like, actually, if you say laid, it's like when a chicken lays its eggs. So you didn't actually lay anything. You laid down, and so you would say I lie down, and I'm just like, it makes more sense if I say laid it to me, okay? It's easier. Will you give me a fucking break? I'm 12, dude. I'm still learning this shit. But as I fucking get back in my bed and he stops fucking talking to his friend on the phone about what she said, dude. You know what she said to me, man? When he stops saying that, dude. And I'm just like feeling the success of like having confronted the issue myself and not having made it, an issue, just being like, hey man, you're standing right outside of my bedroom. My first thought was like, I should write this down, dude, so that I can talk about it on the podcast. And I didn't, because I was like, if it's worth talking about on the podcast, I'll remember, right? Which is the most annoying thing that somebody can tell you when you're like, dude, I have this great idea. It's like, if it's actually great, you'll remember it. Like, I don't know if it's a great idea because, clearly you're writing it down. And I think that if it was a great idea, actually, the people I hear it most from are people that don't actually do anything with the ideas. It's like people that say they want to write, but never write a fucking word in their life. And they're like, I have this great idea for a story. And it's generally, in my experience, it's generally been women, dude. It's been my mom, it's been women that I've dated, and it's been friends who are women. And maybe there's one guy friend that I'm thinking about too, but it's generally them justifying to themselves lessening the power of the idea without realizing that that's what they're doing, right? They get a great idea and they tell you about it, and you're like, dude, you should fucking, have you written this down? Like, how do you, where is this documented? And they're like, oh, well, I just think that if it's worth exploring, like, it'll keep coming to me, right? And eventually I'll be like, this has come to me already 5 times, so I should start doing it. Wrong, there's not a lot of rights and wrongs in this world, but wrong, dude. The more that you think about the idea and do nothing about it, the less it means that you're going to do something with it. I don't know, man. I don't know. At this point, I was talking to my brother about this, dude. At this point, I I feel less of a need to like prove to people that I'm right or that they're wrong. You know, I do it on the podcast for fun, for shits and giggles. Uh, but like, you know, like my friend that's like, Hinge doesn't work. It's like, nah, you're right, dude. Yeah, fucking doesn't. Yeah, fuck it, dude. Or my friend, dude. My friend, dude. My friend Amelia. She's like, I'm just jealous that you're going on 3 dates this week and I'm going on none. And I'm like, oh yeah? Except that I'm using dating apps and you're not. So invalid, you know? Insert argument. Uh, Invalid. Please insert new argument. Insert argument. Invalid. Please insert new argument. I'm just jealous, okay? I just want to find love organically. They should make an app called Organically. That'd be a fucking dude. That would be the best dating app. Is if you called it Organically. Organically or organic. I think organically would be better. Because organic, you're like, I don't want to start fucking recycling, dude. But organically, you know immediately, like, oh, dating. People want to meet organically, right? And you just fucking, I don't know how it would work, right? I think dating apps work great, man. My last two relationships, like serious relationships, came from dating apps. And I've had a great time meeting women on dating apps for the last 6 years. That doesn't mean I don't have highs and lows, right? But there's highs and lows in regular dating too, in organic dating. So I don't know, dude. Organically, maybe you're just like, maybe you could just play a fucking. I don't know how you do it, man. Because organically isn't really even organically anymore. You got to join a club, you got to join something. You have to put an effort in if you want to find somebody that wants to date you. Because otherwise, dude, why the fuck would I want to date somebody that's not putting any effort into dating? Oh, because I'm traumatized, dude. That's why. You fucking deal with that first, you guys. Um, but but yeah, man. Anyway, I'm probably gonna go for another hour and just split this into 2 episodes. Uh, so so yeah, man. I'm not even gonna do a fucking intro outro. Uh, yeah. So that, I mean, that's the end of part one, dude. That's what I'll say right now. That's as much as I'll say right now, is that that's the end of part one. And the reason I'm going to do that is because there's a lot of things that happened recently, dude, and I need to talk about them right now, or else it just loses its charm. You know, what am I going to talk about? The fucking guy that was on the phone next Sunday, dude, and be like, you know what happened 8 days ago that I'm still holding on to 8 days later? Like some petty fucking asshole. Um, what else, man? I guess I'll fucking, what else, dude? What else is recent that I need to talk about? What do I need to get off my chest? I did mushrooms, man. That's what I need to get off my chest, man. Actually, I don't even feel like I need to, but I figure I might as well talk about it. I did mushrooms again, and I did it exactly a week ago today. Or 2 weeks if you're listening to this when it came out. Also, I've said actually like 9 times in this podcast already. Annoying, but anyway. Um, I did mushrooms and I did mushrooms and it was different, man. I'll say that much. It was different, and You know what, dude? Actually, fuck it. I'm not gonna do I'm not gonna do a full hour right now, dude. Go fuck yourself. Do a full hour right now, dude. No thanks. I'm hungry and I've got other stuff I want to do with my life, dude. I'm not a slave to this podcast. You know what, dude? I'm not a fucking slave to you. I'm not a slave to you listening to this. You're a fucking slave to me, man. I'm the one that's putting my ideas in your head, dude. So you're a fucking slave to me right now. That's the podcast, man. I'll tell you about the mushrooms next week. And thank you for listening. Thank you for being a pupil that listens to the pupil's life, dude. Hopefully you learn something from my stupidity and my profundity, as exemplified in me saying those two words. That's the pupil's life. If you enjoyed what you listened to, dude, consider subscribing, giving it a like, or not doing either one of those things and leaving a comment, calling me a fucking kike. I just said that because it rhymed. You're canceled. I had fun, man. I hope you did too. And I will see you next week. sendfox.com/NIKOAGF if you want to subscribe to my newsletter. I send it out once a week. I try to. And it's got, things I'm doing to better myself and also writing prompts. So if you're interested in that, sendfox.com/NIKOAGF. And to the 3.5 new subscribers that I got this week, dude, hello and welcome to the pupil's life. Thanks for having me.